Dude, yeah, but good thing is it's not live or anything. So like
you can edit.
We can edit it up. Like it started right now, but like we don't even like we can just chill, like you know what I mean? Like when it gets edited, it'll start when we want it to start. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, fucking I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yes,
so like
sure.
yeah, you definitely have like a lot of like good shit to say, I feel like. And I don't know, like I feel like I've been friends with you on Snapchat for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, we for sure don't even know each other.
Yeah.
But you seem to be doing some like active shit on Snapchat. So
most
like
definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to start out with like what you're doing, or do you want me to just like start like asking questions?
I'm a content creator on Snapchat, so like I have a premium, and it kind of just started recently. I'm not gonna cap, like it just started.
What's a content creator on Snapchat? I didn't know even know you can be a content creator on Snapchat.
Okay, so like I have customers who pay me to view me in whatever way they want me. So like I can like ultimately, I don't know, like create somebody's fantasy and like make it happen. Like
That's funny. That's a funny fucking way to put it. People are paying you? Like well?
Yeah. I have a whole menu.
Are you serious?
I am so head ass right now. Like I have a menu.
What's on the menu? Like you do photos, or do you also do?
I can do photos. I can do
photos, videos. Okay.
I can do.
Do you go to people's houses and do what they want you to do? Not
no, yet. I haven't done that.
That's like next level, huh?
That's like, yeah, this is the next level type shit. Although I do have like 2 partners who are just like about that money. We're just like, let's get this money, capitalize off ourselves, and like invest it into other things.
Well, the thing is, the world's such a weird place right now to where that is like, it's a side hustle. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's smart, bro. Like if you know, and expect like, I don't, like guys can't do this.
Oh no, I have hella guys on my Snap who do this. And they make hella money. Yeah.
Guys are?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All over. Like,
no way.
I am so serious right now.
Okay, I've never met a dude that is on OnlyFans.
Yeah. I have like over 10 accounts. But like then
10
again.
accounts?
Yeah, but then again, like I just started and I'm almost at 1,000 views, so I'm sure there's plenty more. I don't have time to go through my Snap. Like I have over 500 messages, and like I try to get back to people to the best of my abilities. I'm sorry if you're watching, because there are some locals and shit. So like,
you're telling me you have 500 messages on your Snapchat and you have to cipher through it all?
Yeah, actually there's 518. So I have the privacy screen.
All on Snapchat?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, bro! Dude, what the hell?
Yeah, but
are you gonna reply to these people? Or is it takes too much time?
I try to. I'm like the most genuine way I can put it is like, hey, like I can't believe like I missed your message. Like I'm really sorry. Like life's been throwing me some curveballs. Like I'm trying to get back to people to the best of my abilities. I really appreciate your time and patience and efforts.
And what are they requesting? Like the menu options?
Yeah, which a lot of the time is like my lifetime or my 1 month, or I have a boyfriend girlfriend package, or I have like, you can do 1 custom videos, I can do sexting, I have a daddy package, I have
what's a daddy package?
which is basically like a lifetime premium, a Dropbox, daily pics, video streaks, 5 custom videos, sexting, request meets my personal number.
And they text you?
Yeah.
How many, okay. So you're fine with like random like people you don't know texting you?
Well, okay.
Is this a full-time job?
I can basically make it so, but I do not. I model for 2 different companies, and on the side, I run my own business. So it's just like a side hustle. So I can basically on my tax returns, little did you know, if you capitalize off yourself and invest in yourself, which I've invested overall $15,000, I can make money back off myself. Like I don't have to pay anyone back, and yeah.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, is this your only like gig right now, or are you like also working a 9 to 5 or like?
So I was working a 9 to 5. I worked at Bath and Body Works. I can disclose that now because I don't work there anymore. It was seasonal. Yeah.
Did you like working there?
Oh, I loved it. Although like, don't quote me, but like that is kind of like overpowering with all the like perfumes and shit.
Oh,
Although
so-
I love people and I have a bubbly personality, so I felt like I could really get along with people.
Dude, so are you like, do you feel like you're making a fair amount of money to like live and survive and pay rent off of your OnlyFans and Snapchat gig?
Yeah, I've been doing it.
How long have you been in this game for?
Maybe 2 weeks, possibly. I just paid rent like a couple days ago, actually.
Are people paying you Venmo, Bitcoin, PayPal?
Cash App, and then I'm invested on Cash App and Bitcoin. I have some stocks, yeah.
Let's fucking go, bro.
Yeah.
I just got into the crypto like this week.
Cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
No.
Everyone's talking about it. It doesn't seem like anything can go wrong. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. No, yeah, I on Snapchat, I have a homie. Shout out to Dylan. He's invested in stocks and like invited me on like this stocks. It's called stonks, and like all we talk about every day, all day is stocks. And which one we should hop on at what time, and like what like the value is and net worth and all that. So yeah.
That's how do you like those 518 messages, are you even able like to go through all of those?
Most definitely.
Like how the fuck did you even see my message when I hit you up and was like, yo, like let's run a podcast?
To be honest, I was just like, I haven't seen that head or that name in a fat minute. Like, what's up? Like,
yeah.
So I just like I clicked on it and I was like, that might be interesting. Like, I feel like I can add greater value.
For real, I was thinking like people might like your customers, like they like this might be a good like promotional thing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like yo, like I did a
knows?
fucking podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
So you must have people trying to hang out with you 24/7.
Yeah.
How does that work?
You fuckers be thinking with your little head, not your big head. So I got you.
How does that go down? Like,
how does it go down?
Have you met up with anybody off of OnlyFans or Snapchat, or like have people offered you lumps of money to like?
Almost definitely. I have this dude up in Paso Robles who has hit me up. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I'm down. I've never done it, so I'm a bit apprehensive. He's gonna pay me $1,500 to be a submissive, which I'm trying to read more into it, and like I hope it's not like sexually. Like I'm hoping it's more so like what he wants me to do with like, I don't know, like if he wants me to smoke naked, which I've been requested to do that and get like $400 easily, like
$400 for smoking naked.
I've done it. Yeah,
you've done it?
Yes, my body's beautiful and I'm young. I might as well like
on
fuck
Snapchat
it.
or at your house.
No, on Snapchat.
Damn. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, virtual Corona. Fuck
damn.
that.
Okay. Dude, if someone wants you to be a submissive, I'm assuming it means in-person submissive, sexual.
Most definitely. Not
right?
necessarily sexual.
Not sexual.
Sometimes guys are just like wanting, and sometimes girls. I have a few girls that hit me up. Sometimes the guys are just like wanting company, whether that's just someone to talk to or like someone they can like go out on dates and spoil or like
sugar daddy shit.
Most definitely. Hello. Yes.
It's kind of gnarly, like, yeah, I don't know. I can think of a handful of girls right now that are really in like the sugar daddy roles, and like people my age, like they won't even hang out with anymore, like fuck them, because like the people they're hanging out with, it's like these people that have like really nice houses and like property and shit, and it's like
that's
fuck,
what
like,
I'm
this is a
aiming
thing
for.
now.
Most
this is
definitely.
a thing. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's you know, like dog eat dog girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I feel like me as a woman, I view it as like guys can be dogs too, and guys can just like want one thing, and that's just our punani. So I might as well like use that to my advantage when I know, like, unfortunately, like going into this industry, I've realized what kind of variety of men are out there. Like, I personally didn't think that there are some people that are like a little off, and I'm not trying to judge you if you're into this or whatnot. I just feel like it's not my forte, and therefore it's like, this is new. Like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, there's been guys that are like, yeah, you want to be like my daughter and like act like a 9-year-old? Like, some weird shit, like some scandalous shit that's like, like, I wonder if you're a menace to society, man. Like,
they're gonna pay you though, yeah? Or
I wouldn't do that. It made me very uncomfortable, and like, me personally, like, I come from a background where some like fuck shit like that has occurred, and like I feel like that is kind of like traumatizing, and I don't really need to reiterate that. I'm in a better place now. Like, I'm not in this necessarily for them, it's really for me ultimately. Like, that may sound selfish to some, but like, coming up the way I came up, I feel like it's a step up, and I'm leveling up in my own way, and I'm trying to figure out my life without having anyone else dictating it for me, which for many years I was very much so accustomed to allowing. And so, yes, this isn't like a career I want long term, and I don't shame any other girls who do it. If anything, I'm like, yes, queen, like, you do you. Like, I'm very supportive, and I'm very understanding, and I know that for some it may be a long-term goal, and that's perfectly fine. We're all on our own boat, we're all riding our own waves, and it's perfectly fine. Like, there's some women that like choose to really go off in their own way and like have sexual partners with multiple people. Like, me personally, I'm polyamorous, but I don't go around like fucking a bunch of people. Like, I have 2 partners I do this with, and I have 1 boyfriend, and like, I use protection. Like, there's means and ways to like take care and handle your business without putting yourself or the ones you care about in jeopardy. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
do you have 2 boyfriends right now, or 1 boyfriend, 1 girlfriend?
I have 1 boyfriend. I want a girlfriend. If you're watching this, hit me up.
Dude, you can find a girlfriend.
I want a girlfriend. I feel like I could. Like, Tinder's popping, but like, I'm very picky and I'm very meticulous. Like, I have standards, bro. Not shaming any girl, but like, you gotta match my energy and my level. Like, I'm hella spontaneous. I love like just vibing out and just like smoking. I don't know. And that is supportive of what I want to do. Speaking of my partner, he's calling me.
Does he know you're doing a podcast?
No.
How did you guys meet each other?
He was my barber.
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You used to have longer hair?
I did. I had curly, luscious, long hair.
What happened to that? And when did you cut it?
Okay, I remember this because I cut it the day I was supposed to be born, trip out, and I didn't realize that until after the fact. I cut it April 5th last year, and I just cut it because I had a bunch of followers and a bunch of guys like wanting my attention and seeking for my approval when I had long hair, and I felt like, damn, like, is it just my looks? Like, why can't they vibe out with my personality? Because, like, me personally, I don't, like, find any part of my attributes attractive. I find my personality the most attractive part to me. So, like, I would, like, trip out on it, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and I remember I was like, you know what? I put it up in a bun, and we just got done skating over at C.L. Smith, and I was like, I think I just want to say fucking let's go. Like, just cut it off. Hair's hair, it'll grow back, whatever. Like, my mom always was super apprehensive about it growing up. She was always like, you're gonna look like a skinhead, or you're gonna look like a dude, and you're gonna like just all this negative bullshit that like I don't stand by, and I would never deem myself in those categories in my life. Never have I, nor will I. So I was like, you know what? I called up my mom because he was tripping. He was like, what if your mom trips or doesn't like me after you coming home and you're like a bald head? So I called her. I was like, hey mom, like I just wanted to communicate and let you know.
We're good.
Okay. I just want to let you know that, like, I'm going to do this. And for many years, I've always allowed, like, your opinion to be the reason why. What is that?
Oh, I literally just had to, like, click stop.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, you're good.
Okay.
It's going.
For sure. Yeah. So, no, I was just like, mom, I'm doing this. And she's like, okay, like, you're gonna be beautiful no matter what, and, like, I don't know if you should. I personally wouldn't. Just that last final, like, trying to final say type deal, because, like, I just turned 19, and it was, like, hitting her that, like, I'm growing up and shit. And so I did it, and I was like, I love this. And I called her super stoked, and my mom was like, she started crying. She was like, wow, like, you look like a supermodel. Like, I'm so sorry for, like, all those years of me, like, looking down upon something that you personally want to do. Like, I should have just stood by you from the jump. And I was like, thank you, mom. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, approval, yes.
Dude, okay. So you felt good doing it?
Most definitely. Although I felt good in the moment, and then the next day, my ex cheated on me with a girl that had like super beautiful long hair, and I felt like completely ashamed because sorry.
Oh no, you go. I was just the dude that cut your hair cheated on you the next day.
He helped me cut it, but I finished it because it took like fucking a night and a day, because it was one of those bullshit razors that you have to like charge, and like it was, I looked like Angelica from the Rugrats. I looked like the fucking Avatar from the Last Airbender. I was going through some shit, man, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm here now, and now I'm just growing my hair out. Like, I had a mullet for a minute. I fucked with the mullet.
How old are you, and where are you from? You're from SLO.
I am.
You went to more of a high school.
For a minute, yeah, like a year. Yeah.
We went to school together at the same time,
yeah,
right?
we were in Avid together. Shouts out to
Dude,
Mr. Goxie.
That was lit, bro. That was fucking lit.
Yeah.
Were you, I know it was my senior year, were you a freshman or a sophomore?
I was a freshman.
Freshman,
I was
okay.
a prom, yeah.
You remember all of us?
Most definitely.
Damn,
It's the crew.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so, like, where do you go to? So you only went to Morro Bay High School freshman year?
Yeah, I did.
What happened after freshman year?
I felt like some, like, unfortunate events occurred my freshman year, and, like, I really tried to tough it out, and, like, I wasn't trying to be no bitch because my mom didn't raise no bitch, and, like, I was falling into, like, the wrong friend group, and I was really allowing, like, my social peers to really have, like, an outlook on how my life should be going. And it got to the point where, like, I had to start dealing with, like, my own depression that I, like, for so long wanted to just, like, bury aside and, like, not take care of. And so I grew up without my dad, and I decided, well, like, my father's in Iowa, and I would like to experience what it'd be like to live with him, because the last time I had tried living with him was when I was a little girl, and, like, we were homeless, and it was amazing in the sense that I learned a lot of, like, humbling, like, grateful appreciation towards life from such a young age, like, appreciating what you have and hoping for what you want and aspiring and pushing forward to obtain what you don't have, but you're going to. So I moved to Iowa and I lived there for 6 months, and that just really wasn't working out. Like, my father wasn't really appreciative of my time and stay there, and he was abusive and just unfortunate events. I haven't talked to him in 3 years, but it is what it is, you know?
Did you meet him before going to Iowa?
Most definitely. Like,
okay.
He
So
was
you know
my
who he
hero.
was.
Like, he was my hero growing up. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to talk down. Like, growing up as a little girl when we were, like, homeless, like, he taught me how to catch frogs in the creek beds in SLO and, like, lizards. Oh, I know how to make those traps. I know how to catch those fuckers. Bluebellies. I love bluebellies.
Were you guys fucking eating them?
No, of course not. We eat the crawdads in the creek, though, and, like, we barbecued that shit up. Oh, my God, let me tell you. We were on some next level shit. Butter. You can never get enough butter. But, no, so we did that, and, like, I met some homeless people and kids and, like, grew up with them, and then, like, my mom left him, and, like, that crushed my world. Like, I was like, my hero is no longer in my world, and he abandoned us, unfortunately, and I took a lot of my hate and pain out on my mom and stepdad. And now I'm like, I love you guys. And I'm, like, so sorry. I was, like, a little shithead for all those years because, like, I didn't understand where I truly came from. I was hoping for where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be surrounded by, that I lost sight of what I have. And I'm, like, so sad, but I'm grateful. And then sorry, not sad. I'm not sad. I'm just sorry about that. I was like, my bad. Like, that's all bad. And, like, I then went to Templeton Independent Studies for the last 6 months of my sophomore year. And, like, I gained a good amount of credits, but by the time I enrolled myself into PB, they lost those credits and I had to start completely all over. So as a junior, I was having to repeat my sophomore, junior year, and a little bit of freshman year, because freshman year, let me tell you kids, do not ditch. I ditched almost every day. Being at a school right next to the beach was hella nice. It was very nice, but don't do it because you don't realize until you're older, like, how important school is and getting an education and going through that social life. Like, you have to socialize and learn how to work with your peers and learn how to be independent on your own without all of the support from your family. Like, I had to learn from a young age, unfortunately, but I wouldn't be who I am today. So, like, I wouldn't take any of it back.
Yeah. What, did you end up graduating high school?
So, by my junior year, I only had 2 weeks of school left. And by that point, it was summertime, and I didn't go to summer school. And I had went into my senior year. And my parents had kicked me out again. And I had to live with my grandmother. And at that point, I had to take care of my great-grandmother. And at that point, I had been doing that for 4.5 years. And so I had cousins who would help out every once in a while, but it got to the point where I couldn't go to school for, like, the afternoon for 3 hours because my other cousins, they would kind of like to fuck off and just party, and they weren't really responsible. Like, my great-grandmother had fallen in the care of my other cousin late at night. And,
Damn.
like, I just didn't feel safe or comfortable with that afterwards. Yeah. Because before my little nanny's Alzheimer's and, like, dementia got progressively worse, I made a promise I'd be there till the end. And it was one and only huge commitment I've truly stood by in my life that truly changed me in more ways than I like to admit sometimes. Like, it got to the point where I was taking care of her every day, double shifts after double. So I was working day in and day out, and they were wanting to party, then go to school, and then their other job, and then come home and sleep. And it got to the point where I was having to take over their shifts. And my grandmother was the prime caretaker over her. So she was working her own job at the hospital, and she would start from like 6 a.m, wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, get ready, and like throughout the night I'd make sure my little nanny went to the bathroom, woke up nicely. I'd get maybe an hour to 2 hours of sleep max every day. So like I just was not in the position to finish school, and I was there with her until the very end. She actually, like, I sang to her, and she waited to the very last note of the song to take her final breath. And it was really inspiring over my life, because I realized how precious life is and how sometimes people take it for granted. And like, I know at the end of the day, we're just trying to live our life and get an understanding for what we want and make what we want our surroundings. I'm so lit. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm following.
Like,
I'm
no,
following this.
yeah, no. Like, I just ultimately want to make my life the way I want to. I don't want to have anybody ruling over me. I want to be the creator of my own legacy. And so by the time I was coherently ready enough to go back into society, because for a year and a half after her passing, I went down a dark path of using drugs and partying every night and drinking every day and using really hard substances that no one should use, you feel me? Like, and so I finally got out of that slumber, and by the time I wanted to go back to school to finish my last couple weeks of credit, COVID hit, and I just felt like the world was like hating me. Like, I felt like it wasn't like, I didn't want to make COVID about me, so I never really talked about it out loud. But I was like, I lost my little nanny. I'm just now finally like wanting to live after so long of like nights where like I wouldn't go to bed because I was like fearful of like, is this gonna be my last breath? Like, now that I know like we're gonna die, like death is the only certainty we have in this life, and it's inevitable, it's happening, it's guaranteed, it's the only risk factor we have. It really tripped me out. And then like COVID hit, and I was like, fuck, I can't really go back to school right now. I know that I'm more so the type of learner to be more engaging visually in person. I'm more hands-on, and I've always been that way. So like virtually, I probably wouldn't be as successful, and I don't want to be deemed a failure before I know what I can achieve.
Yeah.
You know, like,
isn't that gnarly? Like, we are all going to die. It's just like, what are we going to do between now and then?
Exactly.
Like, we better do some dope shit, right?
Yeah, like, oh my God, I want to travel. Like, that's why I don't care if I do this. And if there's opinions, like, I don't mind. It's completely like my life, and I know it's not affecting you. I know that the woman I am today, like, it will never affect you. Even if you're a guy or female, your chick, your dude will never be on me or in me, because I'm not like that. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm doing this strictly for myself. It'll never hurt anyone. So why judge me or talk down upon me when it's my life?
Do you feel like you've gotten some some heat from?
Most definitely. Like,
what have people said to you?
I've had some mean people just like swipe up and be like, ew, gross, you fucking hoe, like yada yada yada, like you should fucking die. Like,
are you serious?
I've had some gnarly shit occur, and like I've honestly been talked to like that from such a young age that it doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, the people that are like that, I fucking pity you and I laugh at you, because that shit is just funny to me now. Like, I know my worth. I don't need you to tell me. Like, the last year and a half, I've done so much like soul searching, and I've learned how to live independent. I'm probably the most independent bitch you've ever met. Like, I've gone on dates and I don't have my dates pay for me. I pay for myself, and if I like you and it's going good, I'll pay for you too. Like,
really,
that's how I am.
That's funny.
Like, that's just how I am, and like, nobody can tell me that I'm a bad person. The only person who can tell me that is myself, and I will never do that because I know who I am. And for so many years, I agreed with people in high school, like childhood friends who I thought were my friends, but turned out to be just scandalous bitches that were honestly hating on themselves. Like, I'm sorry that may come off like shit talk or whatnot, but inevitably I've learned throughout, because I've been in those shoes where like I hated on chicks because I hated myself. I know that it's coming from an insecure place. And now I'm just like, why do you have to put people down? Like, just build each other up. Like, we're all gonna die. Like, whatever. Like, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Like, your flaws are the most beautiful part about you. Like, I can safely say I'm perfectly imperfect, and I'm perfectly happy with that. And I'll quote Audrey Hepburn on that. So.
What, like, have your like close friends or people that you think have been your friends, have they ever like hit you up and have been like, yo, like you need to stop the fuck what you're doing right now, and like said like fuck you and type shit? Like, have you lost some friends because of your new like vibe?
My new vibe. To be honest, like, you lose friends all the time, and one thing I've been told by a very successful person is you're gonna lose a lot of people, but you're gonna gain a lot of people that are gonna bring greater value to your life, to where you can network and achieve so much more for the greater good. So where you can be in the position to take care of your loved ones. Like, I've lost friends. I've lost, like, when I first started like doing this and shit, I lost like over 20 heads. Like
just they stopped talking to you?
They either stopped talking to me, or like they were wanting more, and I was just like, I just view you as a homie, like step back, like tighten the fuck up, like not down. I've also like, I've been in the position to where I've gained friends, and like they're loyal friends, and they completely support me in whatever I choose to make or do with my life, because I do the same in return. That's one thing about me, is like, when I'm your friend, I'm loyal, I'm there for you in any way I can be, and I appreciate life. So it's like, what more could you wish for, you know? And typically I cater to friends like that in my life, because catering to the friends that are like negative, down, bringing your position in life down, or telling you like you shouldn't do that, or nitpicking every move you do because in some way, shape, or form they want something you have but they don't have, I cut all of them off. Like, some of the friends I lost in the last couple months, I chose to leave too, or I chose to not fight to keep, because why am I going to entertain childish behaviors like that? Why am I going to go through life through a dramatic scene when we're, like, I really don't care about drama anymore. Like, if you're about drama, bye. Like, there's the door, have fun, see your way out. Like, I'm sorry we didn't vibe, but I know there's plenty of other people out there that you can vibe with. Like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, that's do you feel like you're doing what you want to be doing right now? Like
right now in my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, like, I'm perfectly happy with what I'm doing right now. I'm taken care of. I don't depend on anyone but myself, and those who are in my life support me no matter what, and it goes both ways. So I really couldn't be any happier. And yeah, that's that.
Are you I know you said you were like just kind of like getting into like the OnlyFans, like Snapchat premiums and shit.
Yeah.
Are you like, have you noticed like an increase in your in like the money that you're bringing in, like,
most
or is
definitely.
it too early to like say?
I mean, I can see the potential. It is a little too early to say, so I'm not going to get cocky with it, because I'm definitely appreciative, because let's be honest, like, I'm taking care of my business through this, and I'm grateful. So, like, I'm in a position to where I am paying the bills. I got phone bills. I got my fucking rent. I'm in the process of getting a car. Like,
dude, good for you.
Like, I'm trying, you know? Yeah.
Dude, I don't, I'm gonna try and say this the best I can without it sounding like hateful, but like me personally, I don't think I could ever like just pay someone money for like photos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would pay if I was a millionaire and I thought someone was hot. Yeah, I'd for sure pay them to like fuck. You know, try and get like a friendship out of it or something. But like just like photos and like paying for like OnlyFans subscriptions, it's like mind-boggling how many people do it. You know what I mean? Like it's a photo, like you can't touch it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, some guys like offer to like actually fly you to them though.
From what
where
you're doing?
Yeah, I've had like over 100.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but like there's evil in this world, and I've had to learn that from a very young age. So I'm very apprehensive in doing that, and like, I don't know. Like, I haven't really told all of my family members, like the family members that I have told understand or have been there themselves or support me in whatever decisions I make, because they know I'm only doing what I feel is in my best interest, and that's ultimately what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Some guys aren't into like paying for it, and if not, that's perfectly fine. Some guys don't want to pay for that. They just want like streaks, or they want a conversation, which I'll do for so long, but
it gets
sorry, not sorry if I like leave you hanging some days, because I'm too busy tending to shit that's actually pulling weight and putting money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because like, that's ultimately why I'm doing this. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm strictly just trying to gain something from the friendship that I'm ultimately creating with someone.
Is there a way to see like your OnlyFans rank? Like, is there a rank system where it says like, oh, like you're the #1 streamer, or like you're in the top 5%? Of,
I feel like you have to have a certain amount of views for that to be unlocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there some people that are making millions off OnlyFans?
Oh, most definitely. I met
real?
this bitch that has like a fucking mansion, and like, she has some nice ass. Like, she was all around like perfect. Like, her house, she got everything: the whip, the house, the financial planning, all that. Like,
did you meet her in person?
Yeah, down in LA.
How?
A lot of the times I take trips down south, and we met through mutual friends. I have a buddy who actually like helps me out with all of this, like, I don't know, like
the tech side
digital
of shit?
side of
okay.
Yeah, because I'm not really tech savvy,
yeah.
So I kind of like just handle that. Sometimes I make content with them.
And they hit you up and were like, yo, like cruise to LA, like come out through, like meet this girl.
Yeah,
is she like a lady? Is she like younger, older?
Younger, yeah. She does the same thing I'm doing. So like that's why I was just like, you were asking, so that's how much she makes. Like, she makes a lot of money.
Damn, bro. Yeah. Is she okay?
But she's kind of doing the similar thing that I'm potentially trying to indulge in myself.
Yeah.
Like, she's invested in real estate, which I want to start doing here soon. I want to invest in property in like Arizona, where like a lot of elderly communities like to go and like retire. So come and buy my property, or like rent it out, and I'll be a slumlord, money in my pocket every month.
Yeah.
So that's like another option I'm trying to go for. Like,
would you ever own a house and like have the elderly come like stay with you? Like they're like your roommates, they're like older, and you like.
I've actually done that already. Elderly people are dope. What do you mean?
No. But like they're like in their like mid-60s.
Oh, most definitely.
And they're like mostly independents, but like you have to like you're doing like cooking and cleaning and like showing them a good time. But not so, like you're not fucking them, but you're like, you know, like you're walking around naked.
That's a sugar daddy, and I was not thinking that, but I mean, you could do that potentially. Like, if they're like a millionaire and shit, like I'd potentially walk around clean naked. Like who cares? Like I'm so open with my body. Like catch me out pirates, bruh. Like
Would you say that this is the beginning for you?
the beginning to probably this year, yes. I'm not wanting to do this as a career, as I said before. I really just want to do this like for the next year to 2 years and initially save and invest into businesses or stocks or real estate or anything that I can initially make money and a source of income out of. I really don't want this to be like it for me.
Yeah.
I see so much more in my future. Like I want to initially help out with like human trafficking and victims. Like I want
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be their therapist, their guidance counselor. Like I personally have gone through that and I never saw my life being where I am today. Like I didn't think I'd live past my 18th birthday and I almost didn't a few times. And so I'm very grateful that I could be in the position to even learn how to be there for others that could be or have been in the same shoes as me.
Yeah. What, you said you experienced human trafficking yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You were a part of it?
My ex threw me in the human trafficking ring with a bunch of girls, actually, unfortunately.
You were thrown in a human trafficking rink?
Yeah.
How did that go down? Like, what's that even mean?
Okay, so kind of if you haven't gotten the idea of like the startup to initially how rocky my stability and relationship is with my parents, they weren't really that sheltering. Like I wasn't really sheltered throughout my life. Like there were times where I went out of my way to not feel sheltered, but for the most part, parents aren't handed a parenting book. Yeah. So I'm not at all shaming where they were at during that time in my life, but they could have definitely been there a little bit more.
Yeah.
I had this ex-boyfriend. I was 17. He was well aware of my age, mind you, and he was 28. And it started off with me cleaning millionaires' mansions around San Luis Obispo and up and down California. And I was not naked. I was just simply cleaning homes, making money that way. And then he threw out to me like him owning an escort company. Now, I didn't have any idea what that was during that time of my life. And because I was so madly in love with this man, I was like, I'll do anything. Like, I'm your ride or die. I got you, B. Like, to let fall or fly. Like, I was on some stupid shit. Like, do not chase men. Do not chase anyone but yourself. So he was like, let's do this. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, basically, like, why fuck for free when you can make money, ultimately? And I remember he was like, well, let's convince your mom to get you out here to Lompoc and you'll come stay and live here with me. And I was like, I would love that, because during that time, my mom and I were not having it. We were not able to talk. We were just butting heads. It was really hard to consistently be surrounded by someone who you just felt like you couldn't trust or just talk to. Like, it was getting to the point where, like, I'd be alone in the room while everyone's upstairs socializing, and I was just completely isolating myself. And so she was like, you know, if this is what you want, like, you're almost 18, like, you gotta learn at some point what it's like to live on your own. Why not? Whatever. So she was like, here, pack your things. I packed my things, and she came and picked me up. Or he came and picked me up, mind you. Sorry, I was thinking about my mom. So he came from Lompoc to pick me up, and on our way down to Lompoc was when he was explaining to me, as I remember so vividly, we were on the 101 in 5 cities, and he explained to me how he has a whole ass another girlfriend. And this was the first time I ever tried polyamorous relationship, mind you, which I've learned throughout the years. It is completely how you and your partner or partners determine that relationship to be. It is not defined by any means. And he really tried to pressure me into like just adapting to it right away. Like he was like, okay, so if you're gonna do this, I'm gonna take you to my uncle's down here in Santa Maria, and he's like the real OG pimp. Like he came from a family that potentially initiate or feel like they're a part of the Crip gang.
Okay.
So like they are more hardcore and they live a lifestyle that I throughout my childhood did not understand nor know about until this man came in my life. Let me tell you. We go down to Santa Maria and this fool has me pulling up to some ghetto ass area with hella cars that are just like all tinted. Like there's no watermarked cars because it's like a bunch of tricks, which are like guys that pay for money, like fucking. So like a bunch of tricks don't necessarily have like watermarked cars.
What's a watermarked car?
A watermarked car is when you can see through your window.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So it was definitely an area where like pimps would come around or like there'd be other prostitutes or just some heavy ass shit going down, like some drug deals, some drug busts. There was like actually like around the corner a drug bust going down with like the SWAT and like hella like cops and shit. It was hella sus. And I was scared, and it was my first time going down there, and he has me meet his uncle, and his uncle, I remember he walks me up, and he's like, come upstairs to the bedroom. And so I went, and he was like, okay, take your clothes off. And I was like, wait, you just want me to strip right here? He's like, no, I want you to go in the bathroom and take off your fucking clothes, bitch. And I was like, whew, like.
Your boyfriend didn't say this, the uncle did?
No, the uncle did. No, my boyfriend would not.
He was not in the room.
That. He wasn't in the room. So
why didn't you say fuck you?
Are you trying to get pimp slapped? The fuck? Like, no, pimps are not like that. They will put you in your place real quick. Like, no.
Dude, that does not sound like a fun environment to be in.
No, it was very scary. I was 17. I thought I was in love. And this boy, like, for months, almost 6 months, had me wrapped around his fingers. Like, before this all started initially happening. So his uncle, like, sees me naked and tells me to, like, spread my ass and, like, all this shit. And, like, he's like, oh, you got that nice white little snow bunny type pussy type shit. And I was like, I didn't even know what to say. Like, how do you say anything to that? Like, a guy's literally looking at you, staring at you as though you're a piece of meat. Like, you don't really want to say anything, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, I put on my clothes because he told me to, and then we leave, and we're on our way down to Lompoc. Not even right before we get to Lompoc, there is some, like, shootout or some shit. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, this is some savage ass shit. And like, we get unpacked and situated, and right off the bat, I'm having to meet the chick I'm supposed to apparently start fucking with.
Chick?
Yeah, so he like I was finding out on our way down that there's a whole ass other female that lives there too, and she's gonna be our partner, like our girlfriend, and this bitch, let me tell you, from the jump, did not fuck with me. And to be honest, the feelings were mutual. She was a beautiful girl, but she got some fucking issues. And I remember her issues became my issues. And like, the first night, the same fucking night, after all this shit occurred, he's like, okay, now grab the hot, like, the cute outfit you want to wear on the blade and let's go. And so I packed my things. She had packed her things, and we started heading up north to like the Bay Area. And we get to
what type of cars are these people driving?
Oh, well,
like
see,
nice cars?
Oh, most definitely. See, he also sold cars on the side. He lied about having a dealership license, but he gets hella brand new cars for like $800 and then flips them for the real price of
$800?
Yeah, dealership license makes you
$800?
No, dealership license, you get like a market down price. Like, you can like get prices that like nobody of like a customer would normally get.
$800 for a car? How the fuck is the business even making profit?
No. Like, he would buy brand new car, like an SUV, let's say. Like he got like one time a Cadillac Escalade, and it was like a 2016, and at this point it was 2017, 2018 for $800, and flipped it for the real like
thought tens of thousands.
Yeah. So like he was on some scandalous ass shit. He was like, it wasn't legit, nothing, no. So we're on our way up there, and he's like, I want you to drive. And I was like, okay. So like I'm driving, and I don't have a license, mind you, and a cop starts tailing us. I started fucking breaking a sweat, let me tell you. I was like, I don't want to get in trouble with the law. Like, we're already doing some scandalous ass shit. Like, I don't want a record. I've never had a record. Still don't have a record, but I really don't want a record. So,
knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Wood, do it. You have to.
Get it. Yeah. So, I got it. Thank you. So, we're on our way up. We finally hit the Bay Area, and at this point, we switched positions. He started driving, and this stupid old fart in a minivan fucking backs into our car while we were on a stoplight or stop sign. Like, who backs up? We're at a stop sign. This fool did. And he decides to fuck up the front bumper, and like, that was a whole ordeal. Come to find out, he didn't have insurance, so we had to pay out of pocket. So that night, he made me work. The very first literally first day initially going to Lompoc, having to drive straight to fucking the Bay Area, he had me hit the blade. And
what's hit the blade mean?
So the blade is basically where the tricks come to pick up chicks, and the pimps will be riding around. Mind you, I'm gonna fucking sell you shit out, bruh. Pimps be driving Lyfts and Ubers. You cannot trust Lyfts and Ubers in the Bay Area, bro. That shit is not safe. I almost got kidnapped over 10 times. Even with the, like, I don't trust Mercedes minivans, like the big ones, the vans. Don't trust those. No. I almost got kidnapped. It was horrible. But, no, so, like, I hit the blade, and I can remember vividly the first thing I ever did. And it was this old white 40-year-old man, and he wanted head. And so, mind you, for every encounter, because my ex like was very particular and wouldn't have it if you didn't use protection, every time we gave head or gave a hand job or fucked, you had to use a condom. We were not allowed to kiss. We were not allowed to have the clients eat us out. And it was for our protection and their protection.
Like so, your boyfriend's protection?
Everyone's protection. Okay. So, like, I had to use, like, condoms for head. I had to use condoms for hand jobs. I had to use a condom for them to fuck me. I wouldn't let them kiss me. I wouldn't let them eat me out. I wouldn't let them do anything. And I remember, like, the first time I ever had to do it, like, this old man, like, was really weird. And I saw in his wallet that, like, he was married and had children because I saw a family photo.
What?
Yeah. And I realized just, like, how scummy some men can really be.
For sure.
Like, I was a young girl. Like, first of all, it took him an hour to convince me to go out of the car. Like, I was shaking. I was hyperventilating. I was crying. I was like, this isn't love. Like, I love you, and I would never, ever have you do this. But here you are making me feel like this is the position I need to be in because you have 6 beautiful children that I love as though they're my own. And, like, I would help pay for everything, like, for him, for the kids, for myself. He would take all of my money, like. You're
saying this was the boyfriend?
The boyfriend.
The person that's.
The boyfriend would have me give him all the money and would pay for everything for the kids. And he made me feel like if I didn't get out of that car to go suck that old man's dick, that isn't love, that I can't make profit off of myself, that I'm not putting him or myself in a better position in life. And he was trying to just brainwash me. Like, there were times and days where I was up so late, and I started getting to the point where I started tweaking out on meth with old girl because she was in a fucked relationship with him as well. Like, he forced her to get an abortion, and then she started tweaking, and he liked me and wanted me to be on the blade for him because I was a proper snow bunny. I didn't use drugs. I was very polite. I was very elegant, and people paid more for me. And so he looked at us as merchandise. And there apparently was another friend of his that had like another side to what we can and can't do as well. Like he made profits off of us as well.
What's a snow bunny?
A white hoe, a white woman selling herself on the streets.
Damn, okay. So the boyfriend that you're with that also has another girlfriend.
This is not the same person, mind you.
Oh, different person?
Yeah, I left that person. Honestly, like I stopped answering his texts and stuff like last year during my 19th birthday. I'm about to be 20, but he had a huge advantage over me for a long time. Like I allowed him to control me for almost.
Okay, so the person that took you from the person you like went from Lompoc to the Bay Area, that was the first boyfriend. You weren't talking to him anymore.
I'm not talking to him anymore. That was the first partner I'd ever tried a polyamorous relationship with, and that just was not at all by means healthy. I feel like he really put a bad rep and name to polyamory for many years for me. I was very traumatized. Like I couldn't go up to the Bay Area for honestly up until like a couple weeks ago. Like I couldn't do it. Like I actually got stopped by the police when I was on my way to going and getting some food in Oakland, and I was 17 and there was this red Honda Civic like following me, and I was going through the alleyway to go get food because I was like, I'm starved. Like I just worked all night and like I was in my clothes, my night outfit, not my day outfit, and like the cops stopped me because like back then it was when they first started using the sting operations and like cracking down on people. And I used that Mexican restaurant as a cover story of like, I'm just going over here, dude. Like, I'm not trying to start any problems. I'm not doing nothing. And like, I lied about my age. He apparently ran my name in the system, and like, it would have definitely said I was 17, but like, he did nothing. And I was told if like I tried telling them my real age that they would call my parents. My parents would find out. I didn't want my mom knowing. Like, I was so ashamed. I didn't tell her until like couple months ago. Like I didn't want her knowing like the type of life that I was like leading for many years that I felt was like natural and normal and okay, because like I allowed a man to have so much power and say and control over it.
So were you like living in the Bay Area? Yeah,
so like I would live in like hotels. We would sometimes stay underneath bridges, which let me tell you is sketch as fuck, because you can literally see all of like the fucking fake ops riding around trying to bust down on the pimps. And it got to the point where like it was so much anxiety, man. Like you literally would have to look over your shoulders constantly. You were harassed by so many different men, and like sometimes it got to the point where if you went in one car, you might not be coming out of that car. Like, it was so dangerous and so scary. And, like, one time I got cheated out of my money because this fucking fool wanted to pretend as though he was a cop. But what I learned later on is a cop can't get you in trouble. A cop will actually never, mind you, sorry. A cop will never get a prostitute in trouble the moment you enter the car and they touch you. A real cop, will have you come in the car and then arrest you. They cannot physically by any means touch you. So we did our thing, and then he tried taking my money back and showing me a fake like badge and shit. And then I realized like, oh, he just was like being a cheap hoe and like took my money from me. And like I got beat up for that one from my ex because he was mad because I didn't know.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, so I had to learn a lot in a very short amount of time. And every time I was like, I don't want to do this, babe. Like, I love you, and this doesn't mean I don't love you. And he was like, you, just one more day. And that one more day turned into a week. And then that one more day turned into a couple weeks. And then that one more day turned into months. It's just a fucking mindfuck. It's never one more day. It's however many days they want you. And then, like, you need to.
They must be doing hard drugs during this too, right? Like, are they on fucking coke and meth? Like your ex-boyfriend?
No, he didn't use drugs. Actually, our girlfriend and I started using drugs because we felt like, I can tell you, like, when I was there, like, I tried making the most out of it, but I couldn't help but just cry in all of my showers because it wasn't the relationship or life I wanted. Like, I never liked crying in front of others. I never liked showing signs of weakness, so I'd always just hide it. I'd always just put makeup on and just be like, okay, like, this is my day, this is what's happening, I already know it, like, suck it up, basically, because this is where you're at right now. And, like, I hated myself for so long, and, like, I allowed that to kind of just like initiate other issues in like my love life that I like had to really fight hard to work through, because normalizing something that's so fucked up and so demanding and so dangerous, oh my god, so dangerous, it's hard to really know like how genuine a guy can really be, because you see the most fucked up of fucked up things when you're in that position.
Dude, yeah, that's, I mean, like, just being a bystander, it's so easy for me to say, why didn't you just fucking walk away? But that's so easy said and done. Like, what is the reason you didn't walk away?
A huge reason was love. Love is the most fucked up addiction. Like, I loved him so much. Like, how? Because during a time where I felt like, I can safely say on camera, like, I grew up having daddy issues. And for the first time in my life, it was the first relationship I was really trying to obtain and win over my partner's, like, acknowledgement and appreciation, because for so many years, like, I really didn't ever allow that. I had to unfortunately feel naive and misled into giving that to someone who didn't deserve that, but I didn't realize that until way after the fact, to where the damage and the hurt had already started occurring. Like, he took advantage of where I was at mentally. Like, I had just lost my grandmother. I had just became homeless after losing my grandmother, and I was living on the streets for 9 months. And then it got to the point where I felt like maybe what he can offer me is what will help me get through this time in my life, because clearly my family isn't really wanting, or I'm not allowing, or don't know how to allow that to happen, because I really didn't know how to allow help when I was younger, and it really hurt me more and them and the relationship than I had really wanted to view and acknowledge.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
So you like the feeling of love, it was such an overwhelming force that you literally were just like in this like mind sweep of just like this constant like, oh my god, like I got to do this for this one person that's like showing me love, and I'm feeling this certain way right now, and I just can't escape. Like, I need to be here and I need to do this.
I felt like I couldn't escape. I felt like I didn't have the support from my family. I felt like, well, he's telling me a good talk. Like, he's telling me like I can get it back into school, I can graduate, I can own my business, or I can do these things that I wanted to initially do then and just do this on the side. But really, it was just the trap. It was just the initial start to what was feeling like an eternal lifetime of like pain, constant worry. It turned into like him using his children to kind of trap me more into like feeling like obligated to stay, because I loved his kids, but it got to the point where like I was hurting and I wasn't growing and I wasn't helping anybody else. I was really just damaging myself, and it got to the point where the girlfriend we were initially with, she was so fucked up in the head that he tried to admit her in the hospital, and I had convinced him to not do so because she would lose her government pension she gets for being a foster child. For her to then the next morning, me wake up to a knife over my throat because she wanted to kill me, to then me realizing I don't want to be with you or anyone like you. And he, to this day, still hits me up because I was the first and only girlfriend that truly like did things around the house, genuinely cared about like how he was feeling, what he wanted, what his children were doing. I would pay for their child support. Like I was doing all of these things as a 17-year-old. Him trying to define that as all this being love, and me not ever giving that chance to someone to acknowledge or understand what love is and take it for what it is. I put a lot of trust into someone who clearly didn't have the same genuine, like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they just weren't feeling genuine. What is the fucking word? I'm having a brain fart.
Reciprocation?
Yeah, like the same reciprocation to what love is. And so, like, for him, he would use his uncles being an excuse to why he's a pimp now, because they're pimps. Like, he was always excusing his behaviors through other people's actions that I felt like he developed, like, this feeling of where he has to do this because there is no other option. And that's all he was taught and raised to do and be like from such a young age, because unfortunately his elders, who he respects, lived a life like that. And so therefore he sat and followed along behind them. Yes, he ultimately had his choice, and I'm not at all excusing his actions, because for so long, like, I would always try and excuse his actions, and like I would never truly try and like victimize myself as a victim, like, because I'm not a victim. Like, I don't look at myself as a victim of human trafficking. I look at myself as a victor, because I could have been dead by now. I could have been in a worse position than I am now. I got away from it. I got away from him. I got away from her. So I feel like I can't victimize myself, especially because I can't put myself to bring him to justice for his actions. Like, in September, I put my rapist in jail, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it for legal reasons. And now that it's finally over, like, I can feel that burden be lifted, and like I can actually speak my mind and how I feel, where I felt like I couldn't. And so I felt like I couldn't with him either. But I've learned that feeling like you can't just, it kind of initiates that bad behavior. Like, I just found out through a good friend of mine I just made recently, she's one of his victims, and she recently just got out of it and just started getting sober. And it breaks my heart to think that I've had the opportunity to put him away, but going through the legal, like, proper, like, ways to get someone like that behind bars, it's so hard. And it's like you're having to relive that day over and over again. And it can take months, it can take years. It took me 3 years. It took me 3 years to build a case and put someone away for something that they did. And they knew they did. It took me 3 years. It took me from my 16th birthday till my 19th this year in September, or 2020 of September.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick intermission. I gotta go pee so bad. Okay, so I have so many more questions though about okay, so you were in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. You pretty much had a pimp.
Yeah.
Okay. How many times, like, were you seeing any money? Were you getting paid for what you were doing?
Okay, so I got paid, let me tell you. I made almost 30 G's a month.
Shut the front door.
I am being completely honest. And there were sometimes where I was going on dates and like these millionaires were just paying me to go on dates with them. And sometimes like we were on like this escorting company and like he had my whole like catalog and page out there. And like people would just pay to FaceTime. Like right now people pay me to FaceTime. And like, oh, let me tell you, it's just like easy cash. It's fast money, but it died so much faster because like all of my money went into this man's pockets.
So you weren't.
I wasn't seeing like it. I was getting it in the way of it was going into the house. It was going into the cars. It was going into financial things that were bringing back to me, but they weren't for me. I didn't get anything out of it. He got all the houses. He got all the cars. When I was left to like have to leave, I had to start from square one, and I was living with my parents again.
So you did not take any money. No. You did not get a dime.
I didn't get a dime.
That's fucked, bro.
But I was that type of bitch. I was a simp ass type of bitch. Like I was that female that was like, dude, like, yeah, have my money. Like, let me pay for this. Let me pay for that. And like, I don't need anything in return. I am not like that anymore. Like, I shit you not. Like that relationship taught me so much.
Was he letting you like keep any of the money and you were just giving it to him?
The money I did get to keep, I didn't get to keep. It went all towards investing into my nails, my hair, my clothes that were specifically for the game. It wasn't for me. Like
that would have been sick if at least you had like a couple like dozen racks in your bank account. Right
I know. You know I mean, me personally, like. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So you must have been abused when you were in the fucking Bay Area.
I was.
How many blowjob, hand jobs, and fuck sessions did you have? Did you keep track?
To be honest, I kept track. Like I can tell you, like the ethnicity, what the guy, what I did to maybe 5 of them, and then I lose count. Like. It's always hard because, like, I'm not the female that you can just, like, get into a relationship and, like, be that nosy-ass Nancy. Like, I hate those fools. Like, they be simps that are like, how many partners have you had? Like, I can't be with you if you've been with this amount of partners. Or, like, you can have more than me. And it's, like, you can't keep track like that. Because, like, I can't, at least. And, like, I'm not hating on those who can. I just personally, like, I'm not in the position to where I can anymore. Like, I didn't realize how meaningful and how beautiful, like, sexual intimacy was until way after the fact. Like, I didn't learn how to be touched by a man properly until way after the fact. I didn't know how to be talked to or handled or acknowledged by a man until, like, recently. Like, I didn't have that privilege, because it's honestly a privilege as a woman to grow up with a dad to kind of show you that, or like actually have a role model you can look up to in those ways to kind of get an idea and grasp that to then be able to apply that to your life. And so therefore I wasn't able to, and I'm okay with that, because if you can't accept me for who I am or where I'm at today simply because of something so materialistic as the body count, I don't want you anyways. Like, you don't have to want me. I don't want you already, period. Like, end of discussion. I am not entertaining the conversation anymore. Like, I have standards myself too, because who I was then isn't who I am now. Like, yes, I make content. Sometimes, majority of the time, I'm making content alone by myself. I don't have others with me. And those who I have with me are either my partners or they're a friend who simply needs help just like I need help. Just simply making quick cash. And I am that friend who's like, fuck it, let's go. Like fuck it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm pretty open. Some people find that intimidating.
Dude, no, it's that's like a big argument I have a lot of the time. And there's a few dudes that I kick with that agree with me. More than a few, but like I prefer it when someone has a high body count, because that means that they have had a good amount of sex, and fingers crossed they're probably like really good. They're experienced, dude. And it's like, it goes far beyond the experience and just definitely. Like in terms of like physical fucking. I mean, like literally for you to have slept with a lot of people, that also probably means you're social.
Oh, most
Probably
definitely.
means
Social
you're very
butterfly.
open. Probably means that you know how to fucking talk to some people. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that are like, oh no, like the person I want to marry, like they can't be with over like a few people, and it's like that just
weird.
sounds
It's just
boring,
weird. It's boring.
bro.
Like, fuck out of here.
Dude, you need a resume, and you need a stacked resume. You need to show that you're fucking and having fun, dude. I mean, like, that's
yeah. We can't have bitches riding dick on their knees. You fucking have to be on your feet. Come on now. Like, let's go. Let's hit all of the kinks. Put them out in the comments below. Dead ass.
Dude, yeah, it's yeah, no, I don't shame anyone that's been with a lot of people.
There's no point.
You have to, if you're gonna shame someone, especially like the opposite gender or whatever, you gotta also shame your own gender. Like the thing, it's like both genders being compared to each other, it's gotta be like both and both. Like both should be high, you know. One shouldn't be awarded for like being higher than the other for being low. That's hypocritical as fuck. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Literally, for real.
I agree.
Okay, so how long were you in the San Francisco for?
I was in like the Bay Area because it wasn't just SF. I was in Oakland. I was in San Jose. I was in Sacramento. I was in Sacramento a lot, actually. I was there for like 4 or 5 months.
Damn. Okay. Okay, you were doing this whole every day, every night.
Every day, every night, every morning. Maybe getting an hour of sleep, but I was tweaking on fucking meth, and I was really putting myself out there.
Damn, bro. Did any of your customers who were there? What are the demographic? Like 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds.
Oh, there was
65-year-olds.
There was a couple youngins, like a couple 20-year-olds, 1 or 2 from like the local college. I had a couple customers that were in their late 20s. I've honestly dealt with like all age, and like I hate to make that gross face like that. I just like, I think it's weird because like you're buying and paying for sex with a chick you know is under 18. Like you can ask for ID, bro, but you don't want to because it's literally just about getting your dick wet.
Yeah.
Like, and there's unfortunately some guys like that, but not all guys are like that. And I'm more than happy to be able to say, like, I'm not in that position or lifestyle to even be witnessing that or having to acknowledge or having to deal with that personally. I can relate, I can understand, but I want to understand from a distance. I don't need to put myself back to square one because that's insanity. That's repeating the same thing over and over again and getting the same result.
Dude, that's gnarly. You did this all under the age of 18.
Yes, I've lived a crazy lifestyle. Literally, I've had a wild life. But hey, I am not fucking done. I am going to write a book. I'm going to have a movie about me. Catch me out here.
Dude, like, for real though.
I want to do it all.
How much were people paying you to fuck?
To fuck?
How much does that cost?
So now, that shit's up. Back then, I was insecure. I didn't think I was beautiful. I felt like I was not priceless, and I am. Trust me. Trust and believe. I was getting paid at most. Like, this is so fucking sad, but I was getting paid maybe like $180, $200 most.
To fuck?
Yeah. And one time there was a position to where, like, through the escort company my ex owns, my girlfriend and I were going to have a threesome with Mozzie, but we couldn't because I would want my phone because every time I would go out, like my security blanket was knowing that my condoms were underneath my tits and my phone was right here, so that way my armpit could cover it and make sure that if someone were to try and like grope me or grab something, they wouldn't go for my phone, which I could call my ex at the time or the 911. And so like I always was very like, I had to be safe like that. I had a knife on my thigh right here. Like I was very precautious, but we wouldn't have been able to keep our phones on us for that meetup. So I did not, unfortunately, get to do that, which we also would have had to sign paperwork to disclose confidentiality. That is why I'm able to talk about this right now, because I did not do that. So Yeah.
Or there then be people mad that you're saying all this. You're not like, well, the bad people. Like the people that are about like human trafficking and like fucking all that
They
shit.
can be mad inevitably, like you can suck my dick when I'm high in the like hierarchy of fucking human trafficking and like taking down your ring. You can kiss my fucking natural white ass, bro. Like that's how I feel. Like it is completely disgusting that you can treat another human being like their property and as though they are material and they are exposable and disposable, and that is just not at all how the world should work. I don't think that you're cool. I don't think that you should even be in the position to call yourself a being because you're so low. Like you're so fucking low. Like you're not even worth anybody's time, and you know that. That's why you're having to do some fuck shit, tearing families apart and like treating young girls as though their property, as though it's just one last time, or taking advantage of naive, innocent, pure souls that entrust you because they're good and you know that, and that's why you prey upon that. It's literally what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude, that's some gnarly fucking shit. Like, that just shows how fucking fucked the world is.
Oh, yeah, this shit has happened
It's
in
crazy.
San Luis Obispo. This has happened down in LA County. This has happened all over the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't talk about it. Like, my friend was in human trafficking up in the Bay Area, and a dirty cop from SLO was, like, dead ass a part of it. And the department didn't know. And when he turned out missing because her friend who she was in the ring with, it was like a murder-suicide. Like, and she inevitably saved my good friend. And, like, I remember having to help look for this girl, and they unfortunately had to find her body a month later up in Perfimo Canyon here in San Luis Obispo. That was like my junior year of high school, maybe senior year. And like at that point in my life, like I was really involved in trying to join the army, and like I was really trying to help, and it was right before I had to endure the same exact feelings and emotions of feeling scared, vulnerable, like you're not in a position to have any control because you've given so much control that you feel like your life's completely out of control, that you feel like the person that's in control is gonna take care of everything, when really they're hurting you and enabling behaviors that will not help you. It'll just hurt you, damage you to a point where you'll have to learn how to overcome and be a bigger person and more entrusting, even though it's hard to trust sometimes, because sometimes you feel like, well, damn, that person ruined it for me, but you can't let it ruin it for you. You know, not everyone's like that. And I had to learn that. Like, I really surround myself with positive ass people now, because if I handle or deal with anyone else, I feel myself going downhill. I feel like I'm looping. I'm not going anywhere. I feel really stagnant. And like, that's not how you want to live life, because at any moment you can pass away. And I would hate for the last thing that I do be anything that's filled with regret. So I personally like live my life to the fullest. I'm open, I'm honest, I'm bold as fuck, and to be honest, I can come off a little too blunt, but I do not care, because sometimes the truth hurts, and I know that myself. I'd rather know the truth though, rather than not the truth. Like, let me leave that up for me to decide, not decided for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn, bro. Dude, you know what you need to do is like one of your goals should be focusing on human trafficking and ending it, and just being a person that like goes places or people come to you and you just fucking speak on it. Cause like I feel like I'm at fucking therapy, bro. It's so chill. No, it's amazing.
Okay,
it's really amazing. Like I've never heard someone describe this like at all to this detail. And just like, I don't know, I think a lot of fucking people need to hear what you're saying. And like, dude, I really think you can make an impact on people. Like, and especially
That's all I
one
want
day.
in a positive way, though. I don't want to impact in a negative way.
If you had a fuck ton of money and money wasn't an issue to you, and you can like really like, you know, like open thing, like, dude, I want you to counsel people, and I want you to fucking end this shit, because honestly, human trafficking, that's fucked. Like raping someone, that's fucked. That's all a bunch of fucked shit. Like it's like no one wants to do that shit against their will, and especially you said like you didn't really make any money doing it. Like, that's fucked.
And I now cannot sexually please someone that doesn't turn me on in some significant way, in a mental way, because now like I used to be frivolous about it. I was able to do it because it was like a switch. It was like sex was a game. And now, because I felt like that's how it's supposed to be. But then now it's like sex has more meaning to it if you allow it to. And you more so are willing and more accepting to allow it to occur when you have faith and you love yourself. Like, you have to ultimately love yourself to realize how priceless you are and your life is. So to be able to give someone that time and that affection and intimacy, you have to be able to excel to the ultimate fullest satisfaction. And to me, that is like being able to connect with that person mentally and then feel comfortable, because it's really about comfortability, to feel comfortable enough to open myself up in that way. Because like me personally, like I know when I'm in bed, like I can be good, like I can please, I like pleasing, but are you good enough for me to please ultimately? Like, are you willing to be comfortable? Are you willing to be open and honest and willing to accept honesty? Because I really am honest. Like, I love honesty. I appreciate honesty. For many years, I struggled with honesty. And as I've grown older, I've realized how important honesty is, because it's the most attractive quality to me. Like, just honesty. Like, fuck it.
Not a lot of people can be honest anymore, it seems like.
It's really hard. It's rare. It's definitely. But hey, I know there's people out there that are honest, and I appreciate you.
What was the breaking point of you finally leaving the Bay Area? Like, what was the like last strike, or like your final day? Do you remember anything like that? Or
yeah, I remember I was in the shower and I started hating showers. And I grew up a water baby. Like, I love bubbles. Bubbles was my first word I ever knew. It was my favorite word to say.
Yeah.
And like, I remember, and when I was taking my shower, I had noticed how much I started hating them, because I felt so filthy and dirty. And I felt like I could, as much as I scrubbed myself and how red my skin would turn and how hot and how much I would burn, I couldn't wash away the grime and the filth that I was like enduring in that time.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't stop envisioning while I would sleep at night. Like, I just this year started to be able to sleep normal, where I wasn't having night terrors of reoccurring flashbacks that occurred when I was there. Like, sometimes my night terrors would become so bad that I was hyperventilating and wouldn't breathe in my sleep. Or it would be to the point where I was screaming in my sleep, because I was literally having to fight off all the men that were literally like sweating on top of me, like, or breathing heavy. Like, there were so many triggers during those years during my life that like I wasn't able to overcome because I didn't know how to. I realized in life that it's the how part that people stumble upon, and it's the how part that initially people aren't taught. It's always why, what, where, who, how come. It's never like how. Like, how do I do this? Or how do I overcome this? Or how did you do that? Or, you know, so it's like, I initially was able to realize right then and there, like, this is never going to change. Like, this chick has been with this man for 3 years, and he's been saying the same shit to me, and I know it. And unfortunately, as much as I love this man and his children, I can no longer keep putting myself at the bottom, because it hurt. I wasn't quite coherent or ready to experience a man who was so open in a relationship to where he was doing this to multiple women, not just me. He was sleeping with multiple women, saying he was testing them out. Like, just, he was just so not remorseful. Like, it was very, like, cold. And, like, I just realized that it was just, I was just another girl falling back into the same categories of what he's initially trying to do. And that's run this ring of, like, girls where he's throwing them into human trafficking. And, like, me and this other girl almost got kidnapped. One time the pimps were, like, fighting in the middle of the streets. Like, there was over 30 of them brawling out in Oakland on 23rd Street. And, like, they dead ass were, like, fighting. And we had to hide in the alley behind bushes because they were fighting to go and, like, steal girls off the streets from other pimps, and the pimps were fighting each other over it. And, like, once the gunshots started going off, the cops were there, and they pulled up, and, like, we had to hide from the cops because I was under 18 and I was a prostitute, and I would have been arrested on spot, and I don't want a record. And, like, I realized that I can't live my life in fear and in jeopardy and feeling like this was all I was worth, because deep down I knew I was worth more. I just didn't know how to get there.
Yeah. Fuck, dude, that's gnarly. Did you ever have any crazy encounters with the people? Like, when you were, like, did you ever have to pull a knife out on them?
Yeah, I had a pepper spray a guy because, he was, like, being very aggressive while groping me, and, like, I didn't have my knife on me at that time, but I had my pepper spray on my keychain, and, like, that was on my hip, so that was easy. And, like, I had pepper spray him, and, like, that shit I remember burnt, and, like, I couldn't breathe, but I had to keep running, and, like,
was he chasing you?
Yeah.
But
like, you have to run away, because if you just stay there, and once they get that shit out the way and they start, like, getting in the position to, like, find you and fucking, like, fuck you up. Yeah. It's fair game. So
he was just being way too aggressive.
Like, he was overly groping me, like, being like, baby, like, let's do this, like, turn around, like, flip me around. I'd be like, no, like, was holding my arms behind my back. I don't like when guys do that. Like, I will start fucking your ass up, bro. Like, I don't like that. And, like, I don't like when people walk up behind me and shit, and that's, like, how it initially started. I've also had an encounter where I got into the SUV, and, like, this fool, like, showed me my money first, got my money, put it in my bra, because I always took my money first after that cop, or that wannabe cop, fake cop, took my money. I started getting it first, and I put it in my breast, and, like, this dude pulls out a gun and puts it against my vagina and was like, I want you to do this, this, and this, and if you don't do it, I'm gonna fucking blast you from the inside out.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And, like, so I did what he wanted. He wanted some head and, like, other shit, and, like, I was able to get out of that situation alive, and I'm here.
He was gonna kill your ass?
He was gonna kill me, if I didn't do it. There's guys like that, yeah.
Did he pay you?
Yeah, I got the money first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
How do people get away with that? Like,
because it's, like, it's
there's just too many of them.
It's a big ass fucking game. Like, it's just a game. Like, I had to change my number, like, 6 months to a year ago, because, like, people from up there were still trying to hit me up because I had my old number still. And, like, I had a different, like, I was so meticulous that on my old phone, like, I would have one side of my fingerprint was for, like, regular Ariana who didn't do this, and then my other side was my left side, and I would use that for Luna, which was my prostitute name, and, like, I would use that for whenever I was working, because, like, it really put me in a position to where, like, I developed, because during the type of trauma you can develop what is known as, like, multiple personality disorder, because you're having to be so many different characters inside that you lose sight of, like, what is really going on.
Yeah.
And so that's something that, like, for the last 2 years, I've really, like, have been having to learn to overcome in my own way, so I can, like, be social with people and have regular conversations. Because for 2 years, I isolated myself. Like, the other day, I went to the beach for the first time in, like, a year or two. Like, I hadn't really, like, gone on the actual beach part. So I was like, I've just been learning every day since these current events and past events to learn how to overcome them in my own way. Like, that's all you can do, and forgive your past. Like, I forgive him, and I forgive those who hurt me, and I forgive myself for hurting those I hurt during that time in my life, because I wasn't fully there, and I wasn't there in a way that a lot of people understand, because my life isn't like yours or anyone else's. It's my life, and it's a life that I can no longer be ashamed of, because if I stayed ashamed of it, I would literally hate myself. I would hate myself so much that I would stay the person I was then, and that's not who I am now.
Yeah. Dude, you want to end on that note?
Sure. Yeah, I want to smoke though.
Is there anything you want to say before you dip, or like this ends?
Yeah. Stay lifted. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Please stay quarantined or social distance, because I had COVID and I don't want anyone to have COVID. It is terrible. Literally terrible, I say. Yeah, but peace.
Dude, you guys heard it from Ariana herself. Thank you for fucking coming on. This shit was lit, bro.
Yes, later.
Good shit.